Hello, and welcome. For many of us, our homes are more than just a place to live. They're a scrapbook of a life well lived. They hold memories of raising a family, holidays with loved ones, and countless quiet moments. So, the thought of downsizing can feel like an emotional and logistical mountain. It's often filled with questions like, where do I even begin? And how can I possibly let go of all of this? But what if downsizing wasn't a burden? What if it was a beautiful opportunity to unburden yourself from the weight of too much stuff and step into a simpler, more joyful, and financially free future? The key is to have a clear, step-by-step plan. Today, with a gentle, caring, and expert approach, I want to give you the ultimate checklist for downsizing your home after 65. This isn't about rushing. It's about a mindful and intentional process that honors your memories while making space for your next, most exciting chapter. Step 1. Start with a vision, not a room. Before you touch a single box, define what your future life looks like. The checklist item. Don't start with the garage or the attic. Instead, sit down with a cup of tea and a notebook. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to feel like in my new, smaller home? Do you want more time for hobbies? Less time cleaning? A travel-focused lifestyle? Your vision will be your guide. The takeaway. This vision will give you the emotional clarity and motivation you need when you face a difficult decision. It's no longer about getting rid of stuff. It's about making space for my future. Story. Our friend, Mary, felt completely overwhelmed by the idea of downsizing from her large family home. She was paralyzed by all the stuff. Her daughter told her, "Mom, don't think about the house. Think about what you want to do." Mary realized she wanted more time for painting and gardening. This new focus gave her the clarity to let go of old furniture and items that didn't fit her new vision. Now, when I look at a box, I don't ask, should I keep this? She shared. I ask, does this fit into my painting and gardening life? Step 2. The 1-year rule. Make the first purge easier. The checklist item. Begin in the easy areas, like the linen closet or a bookshelf. When looking at an item, apply the 1-year rule. Ask yourself, have I used this or even thought about this in the last year? If the answer is no, it's likely safe to let it go. The takeaway. This rule helps you make objective decisions, especially with items you have an emotional attachment to but no longer use. It's a simple, powerful way to start building momentum. Story. Our friend John was a bit of a pack rat. His kids were worried about him selling his large home, but he was determined to downsize. He started with his collection of old board games. He had over 50 of them, but they hadn't been played in decades. Applying the 1-year rule, he gave them to a local community center. The kids are so excited, he said. It felt so much better to see them being used again than just sitting in my closet collecting dust. Step 3. Digitize your memories. You can keep the memory without the clutter. The checklist item. Don't get rid of treasured photos, home videos, or old letters. But you can consolidate them. Find a service or a trusted family member to help you scan old photos, digitize home videos, and even scan important documents. The takeaway. This allows you to keep the sentimental value of your memories without the physical space they take up. A small hard drive can hold a lifetime of memories, all in one safe, accessible place. Story. Our neighbor, Eleanor, was hesitant to get rid of her overflowing boxes of family photos. Her son spent a weekend scanning every photo into a digital folder and then created a beautiful slideshow for her. I have never looked at those photos as much as I do now, she told me with tears in her eyes. Now, I can share them with everyone. They're not just a box in the attic. They're a living memory. Step 4. The 3-pile method. A simple way to sort everything. The checklist item. When you're ready to tackle a room, create 3 distinct piles. Keep, donate/sell, and discard. For the donate/sell pile, be specific. Who will benefit from this item? A family member, a charity, or an online marketplace? The takeaway. This method provides a clear, actionable path for every item you own. It prevents you from creating a giant, confusing pile of maybe. Story. Our friends, Tom and Linda, used this method to sort through their garage. Tom's old tools went to his grandson. Linda's old sewing machine was donated to a local school. The items they didn't want or couldn't give away were responsibly discarded. The piles made it so simple, Linda said. We didn't have to think too hard about each item. We just put in a pile and moved on. Step 5. Plan your new space. Know what will fit before you move. The checklist item. Once you have a new home, even if it's just a general idea, get the floor plan. Use a measuring tape to measure your favorite furniture pieces. Only bring what you know will fit and what you truly love. The takeaway. This step prevents you from moving items you'll only have to get rid of later. It ensures your new space feels intentionally designed, not just like a storage unit for your old life. Story. Our friend, Robert, loved his big, comfortable armchair. He measured it and made sure it would fit in his new living room. He had to let go of a large sofa, but by keeping his favorite chair, he made his new, smaller space feel like home right away. Step 6. Don't do it all at once. This is a marathon, not a sprint. The checklist item. Set a realistic timeline. Don't try to declutter your entire house in one weekend. Tackle one room or even one closet at a time. This prevents burnout and makes the process feel manageable. The takeaway. Pacing yourself is key to avoiding exhaustion and regret. Celebrate the small victories, the cleared-out closet, the organized cabinet, and take breaks when you need them. Story. My friend, Anna, tried to do everything at once and quickly felt exhausted and frustrated. She decided to slow down and focus on just one room a week. It's been so much more peaceful, she said. I'm not in a rush, and I have time to really think about what I'm keeping and what I'm letting go of. Step 7. Honor your memories. It's okay to feel emotional. The checklist item. Downsizing can bring up a lot of emotions. It's okay to feel sad or nostalgic. As you sort through items, take a moment to reflect on the memories they hold. Tell a story about them to a loved one. The takeaway. You're not losing the memory when you let go of the object. The memory is in your heart, not in a box. By honoring the feeling, you can make the process more healing. Story. Our friend, Joan, found her children's old report cards and drawings. She sat with her daughter and they laughed and reminisced for hours. She took pictures of the drawings, and her daughter made a small, special memory box to hold the few she wanted to keep. I'm not losing the past, Joan said. I'm carrying it forward in a new, lighter way. Conclusion. So there you have it, the ultimate checklist for downsizing your home after 65. By starting with a vision, using the 1-year rule, digitizing your memories, and taking it one step at a time, you can turn this emotional process into a joyful and liberating journey. I genuinely encourage you to reflect on this. Which of these steps feels most important to you right now? What is one small thing you can do today to get started on your downsizing journey? Please share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. If you found this video informative and truly helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, I would be deeply honored if you would subscribe for more essential content focused on healthy aging, well-being, and living your most fulfilling life. Thank you for being here with me today.